Hey guys, Ryan here. So a couple of weeks ago the Crash Insane Trilogy got released, and depending on when I decide to record and release this, it should be in my mailbox either today or tomorrow, and I can't be more excited for it. However, in the aftermath of the trilogy's release, I've heard murmurings. The same murmurings I hear every time any game or series gets a compilation release or an HD remaster or a port. How many times are they going to try to sell us the same game? This is so obnoxious, we already have it and they keep insisting on trying to make us buy it again. They need to stop. To which I need to respond, I love you, I value you, I understand your concerns. However, I am going to have to kindly and politely ask you from the depths of my loving heart to shut the f*** up. Every time we get a game ported to the most recent console, especially in the case of a permanently existing physical port, it is a net win for gaming as an art form, because it makes those games that much more accessible not only to younger generations, but the broader culture as well. No other art form has a fraction of the problem gaming does when it comes to keeping its major works accessible. Like, I'll put it this way, the first game I ever played, was MechWarriors 2 on PC. I literally cannot tell you how many hours I spent playing that game as a kid, and how pivotal it was to me forming my deep love of games. Primarily because I was so young when I played it, I had yet to develop object permanence. However, if I wanted to revisit those pure moments of childhood development, I would be denied the right, because there's no simple way to get MechWarriors 2 running on any gaming platform in the manner I was accustomed to. Much less in a manner that would allow me to easily recommend playing it to others as a game that I think is amazing and important. Conversely, the first anime that ever hooked me, Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon, are still readily available to view through streaming sites, such as Crunchyroll.com, your official source for all of your anime streaming needs, where you can watch such amazing series as Dragon Ball Super, Sailor Moon Crystal, and countless others. Please hit me up with that sponsorship, Crunchyroll. I need the money! And this is to say nothing of games that are generally considered more important by the broader gaming culture. Let's not forget that only a couple of years ago the classic System Shock 1 was considered abandonware that wouldn't work on anything and required a devout fanbase to get it running bug-free on modern systems. And so far we've only talked about PC games, but all of this stuff goes triple for console games. Are you seriously going to look me in the eye and say that in 10 years you are going to want to drop $50 to $70 to grab a PS3 to spend another $40 to play Dark Souls 1? No! You want that shit remade right now! And so do I. And yes, I can hear some of you saying, but Ryan, you disgraceful nerd, do you really not think Dark Souls will be released at least for online play at some point in the future? To which I respond, of course it will be, but physical copies always outweigh digital ones, because they will exist far longer. If I bought Mario All-Stars for the Wii, I would legally have those Mario games as long as I could buy, or emulate, a functioning Wii. Meanwhile, if I were to buy, say, Super Mario Bros. 3 online, I'd only own that as long as the online shop servers were available to me, and granted me permission to download the things that I bought. Isn't that right, Wii Shop, you goddamn piece of shit? That's the last time I'm doing that, I promise. Why the f*** did I write that? Look, I'm not saying I don't get why this stuff can get exhausting or insulting, because I really do. It takes a certain amount of emotional fortitude to watch these garbage people who are clearly doing shit for a paycheck, Todd Howard, to port games that clearly don't need porting, Todd Howard, clearly because they are that desperate to make 5 more goddamn Todd Howard bucks off a game they've already made a disgustingly large pile of money off of, Todd Howard, but just can't help themselves, Todd Howard, because of their unrestrained avarice and corporate greed, Todd Howard. However, as someone I deeply admire once said, not all anger is righteous, and sometimes we just need to accept that, as galling as the 50th port of Skyrim might be, it is far preferable to the alternative of losing it to the sands of time. I mean, hell, you've been watching a large part of this video over footage of Super Smash Bros. Melee, a game that has been begging for an HD port for years because the community lives in constant fear of what will happen when we can no longer find CRT TVs to play on. It deserves the port to a new console, not only for its own sake, but for the sake of archiving on a historical level what made so many people obsess over it for so many years. Finally, I can hear some of the more unscrupulous among you saying, in that exact same voice that I realize no one will like, but I find it fun to do and now I can't help myself, but Ryan, we don't need physical releases because we can just pirate and emulate all these games in the future. To which I respond, shh. talk about that another day. However, I will say right now that that kind of ideology does not help competitive scenes like Melee in the current legal climate of copyright, where they'd have to live in constant fear of being crushed under a lawsuit during every tournament. It's total garbage. Games more than literally any other art form are susceptible to not just being forgotten, but being erased and being made nearly impossible to experience. And any chance we have to extend the lifespan of those artworks is worth doing to preserve what makes this genre great. Even if you, like me, hate being asked to buy a game for the 5th fucking time, Todd Howard, that doesn't mean the remaster itself shouldn't exist. Games are incredibly important, and if we want to be a proper art form, we must ensure that our works will be able to be easily accessible in the future. Otherwise, who knows what we'll lose. And I think that about covers my petty rage for the day. But tell me, what do you guys think? Am I just being a revolting corporate apologist, or do you think I'm on point? Let me know in the comments. All I really care about is making sure games I love are available in the future, but maybe I'm being pessimistic. Also, I'm going to be streaming some Crash Bandicoot and Devil May Cry 4 on Friday, so either today or tomorrow, depending on when I post this. It will probably be today. Either way, swing by if you want a chance to watch me have a massive nostalgia trip. Anyways, thanks for listening to me rant. You're the best. I love you all. Peace.